So we've talked about the differences between the deep web, the dark web, and the surface web, and we dived into the little bit of history behind the tools used to actually access the dark web. But before we continue any further, let's talk about some of the common myths behind the dark web or the deep web, and let's see why they're actually not true, so we can get some misconceptions out of the way before going further in this course. The first common myth we'll be talking about today is that the dark web or the deep web is illegal to access. Of course, this is simply not true. Using Tor and accessing the deep web is not illegal, unless of course you're in a specific country that makes it illegal. Recording this out of the United States, this is not illegal to access or use. However, if you're in a place like Syria or Iran or China, it's actually going to be illegal for you to access. If it is illegal for you to access, you probably can't even watch this course at all. And if you are in those countries and are happening to watch this course, there are ways to get around the censorship, which we will talk a little bit about later in this course. And besides thinking it's illegal, a lot of people think that it is dangerous to access. And this, of course, simply is not true. When using the Tor browser, you're actually far safer browsing the internet than you would be using a regular Google Chrome or Firefox browser. And you can actually use the Tor web browser to browse the normal internet as well. It actually helps mask your IP address and hide who you are. And on top of that, if you're using some of the security protocols we'll talk about, like using Bitcoin to purchase things or using OpenPGP to send communication, you are far more secure than the normal internet user, thus making it not dangerous to access and in fact safer to access. Some people, along with thinking it's dangerous, think that you can get hacked if you go on the dark web. But this also isn't true. There aren't people just lurking there waiting to hack people. And on top of that, it would be way harder for them to hack you because of those things we talked about in the last myth, being that you are more protected and a lot safer using the tools that are used to access the dark web. So you're not going to get hacked, it's not dangerous, and it's not illegal. But some people tend to think, okay, if all those things are true, only criminals go on the dark web. And while that may be true for a large portion of the things used on the dark web, there's also a lot of people who use the system of the Tor browser or PGP for communications, and they use this because they have censorship in their country, or they are internet activists just trying to speak out, or they're just people who are politically oppressed and just trying to whistleblow on what their country or what their officials are doing. These tools even allow for people in dangerous situations to speak out without being caught, which is why they're really useful for a lot of people, not just criminals. And when using the dark web, some people tend to think that you can stumble on these scary sites or dangerous sites, but that also isn't true. Just as much as you have a chance of stumbling on something scary on the normal internet, it's about the same on the dark web. As long as you're not randomly clicking links that you don't know where they go, and you're not just searching around for things you probably shouldn't be, then you're not going to stumble on anything scary or dangerous. And the last little myth that we'll talk about here is that red rooms are everywhere. If you've never heard of what a red room is, the red room is an idea that you can watch a live murder and you have to pay to get in. This is not true for a lot of reasons, but for the first reason, there's never been any proof that there was a red room on the dark web. On top of that, streaming over the Tor network is near impossible. You cannot stream live video over the Tor network. While you can post a video for people to watch, red room is the idea that there is a live murder, and the idea of streaming is just not possible and at this time does not exist. So this myth of red rooms is just simply not true. These are the 6 most common myths behind the deep web. If you can think of any more that you don't know the answer to, definitely go over to Deep Web Academy to discuss those. Otherwise, continue on to the next course where we'll teach you the ins and outs of the Tor browser and give you an idea of how it works under the hood.